All right, let's get started. Mariana, I hope you can see my screen. Just let me know.
Yes, it looks perfect.
Perfect, great. So let's get started. Welcome everybody and to another session, another evening of Sahaj meditation. My name is Ashish Pradhan. I have the privilege of uh, being able to try to help coordinate this evening's meditation along with Mariana. As always, thank you, Mariana, for all your help. Both of us are fellow practitioners of Sahaj meditation. So it appears that we have a mix of some new, some regular ones who have joined us. So welcome to everybody. Those who are joining us for the first time, a very warm welcome. Those who have joined us from the past, again, also a very warm welcome to all of you. For those who have been attending some of these sessions, hopefully you have been meditating in the comfort of your homes, where most of us unfortunately have to shelter in place. And yes, we are very supportive of shelter in place and any kind of local guidelines that benefit us. As a doctor, I have to say that it's kind of part of my DNA. All right, so let's let's get started. What we'll do is we have been, for those of you who have joined us for the first time, I'll just say a couple of introductory things. We don't spend a lot of time talking. We try to uh, get into the experience of meditation, because that is what Sahaj meditation is really about. It's a very simple, straightforward way of meditating. It depends on the individual uh, who meditates to basically just have a strong desire to get into a state of meditation. And the system of meditation was founded by Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi in about 1970. We just finished about 50 years of this meditation being around. And it essentially focuses, although it is based on the subtle system which has been in place for uh, this is the subtle system that we speak about, that exists within each and every one of us. There is this, within the triangular bone is the energy called is our inner energy. And according to classical yoga traditions, meditation is about raising this inner energy through the six centers that lie above it, and then breaking through the seventh energy center here and establishing a state of meditation. And this, along with this central channel that we have in the center, we have a channel on our so-called right side. We call it the right channel. It is also the side by which we can act. And then we also have a dark colored channel, which we call the power of our desire. And it is sort of the, you can say that these are the yin and yang parts of the system. Uh, so we have, besides this, of course, we have 7 energy centers, and each one of them have their own qualities. And what we are doing, for those of you who have joined us today for the first time, trying to go one step at a time, trying to get a little more information on the theoretical side, if you will, about each of these energy centers. The website sahajonline.org has a wealth of information. It has a far more detail than what we can cover in any one particular segment. But we try to just have some of this as a kind of a theoretical knowledge, if you will, to demonstrate that Sahaj actually has a foundation in classical sort of anatomy and physiology. Uh, the key thing to also remember is that Sahaj is, where it differs from other forms of meditation, is that it is very experience based. There is no, there is, it's a self-certification construct, if you will, that you get the experience and you decide for yourselves. So what happens is, in Sahaj, through Sahaj meditation, when this inner energy rises through the 6 energy centers, two things can happen. One is that you can feel a kind of a cool breeze blowing through the tips of your fingers, and maybe also from the crown of your head. But we'll see that as we move along. Those who have been practicing this for a while know what we are talking about. The reason why this potentially happens is because these 3 channels that you see, this one in the center, one on the right, one on the left, represent, they are not, but they represent the, in the center, the parasympathetic nervous system, and on the right and left side, the sympathetic nervous systems. The autonomic nervous system, for those of you who might be aware, basically govern our autonomous functions. So our respiration, our breathing, our digestion, the endocrine system, everything that we don't have to really cognitively think, like you don't have to think to let your heart beat, right? So like that, it is the autonomic nervous system that controls all of these functions. So this is what we believe, and we express that these are the representatives, the representations, if you will, of the two components of the autonomic nervous system. We took a look last time at the Kundalini energy, this energy that resides within the triangular bone. And this is the sacrum bone where it actually resides. And we sort of reviewed why it was called sacrum throughout antiquity, even in Latin or in Greek. It is believed that there was something sacred about this. So there is a tradition, even in modern medicine, os sacrum is actually the anatomical name of the bone, that there was something sacred about this triangular bone, particularly across cultures and across civilizations. So maybe there was some knowledge, maybe there was a feeling that this bone was sacred. And according to Sahaj tradition, according to yogic traditions, the Kundalini energy, this energy actually resides within the sacrum bone. So we covered that last time. Uh, Today, what we are going to try to cover is the second energy center, which is this energy center. And the way we are going to cover it is to take a look at it from a yogic kind of point of view, a meditation kind of view, and then see the anatomical correlate of that particular center. And that's what we will do now in subsequent classes as well. So today we are going to take a look at the Swadhisthana chakra. This is the second energy center, as we said, which resides here. And this center resides sort of in the area, in the lumbosacral region. So this is the sacrum bone. And just above that, if you are into anatomy, then basically the vertebrae that lie above that, that they're representative of the level that we are speaking about. But the center, the energy center itself is very subtle. It is not seen in anatomy or physiology textbooks. It's a very subtle energy center, but it is represented by the pelvic plexus. And the pelvic plexus essentially innervates or basically provides the nervous connectivity to the lower part of our digestive, excretory, as well as reproductive organs. So that's what the pelvic plexus is really about. And you can see here some of the nerves that constitute the pelvic plexus. So this is the sacrum bone in kind of what we call a transverse section. And these are the nerves that essentially come out of the spinal cord, and also they run on the sides of the spinal cord, and they've come together to form a plexus. A plexus, in simple terms, is nothing but a collection of nerves that come together to innervate, basically to go into different organs. So as you can see, this particular plexus, the pelvic plexus, innervates the rectum, the uterus in females, the oviduct as well, and in men, sort of the corresponding organs. Of course, there is no uterus in men. But the point is that this plexus is part of, or is representative of, at a gross level, of this energy center, the Swadhisthana chakra. So what is this center representative of? What does this center actually do? What function does it serve? So as we saw in one of our previous sessions, the Muladhara chakra, or the very first energy center, emanates or manifests qualities such as innocence, wisdom, earthiness, humility, most beautifully manifest in little children. You could say that provides you with a construct of what the qualities of this energy center are. At the bottom here, that's the first one, the Muladhara chakra. Today we are talking about the second energy center. Now this energy center, the Swadhisthana chakra, or the second energy center, it is responsible for helping us be creative. It is the center which helps us to be knowledgeable. It is responsible for intellectual activity, and it kind of is it beggars belief. If this is where this center sort of seems to work, how can it be responsible for creativity and knowledge and intellectual activity if it seems to deal with some of the terminal parts of our gastrointestinal tract? The 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 yogic relation, if you will, or the spiritual relationship is what matters here. So this energy center essentially helps us to be to express creativity. So think of some of the finest expressions that human beings have been capable of or have demonstrated through art, through music, through literature. Think of the Mona Lisa, think of the Last Judgment, think of the Sistine Chapel, think of Shakespeare and Hamlet, think of Mozart and Chopin and Beethoven and their orchestral compositions. That is what this energy, the energy of this center enables us. It has what is called as sort of 6 parts to it, and is responsible for our, as I said, with the creativity, our knowledge, and lot of intellectual activity. So hopefully that provides you with a little bit of an overview of the center itself, some of its anatomical correlation. Again, the pelvic plexus is not the Swadhisthana chakra. It is believed that this chakra provides also energy in the spiritual sense to that particular plexus, and that's how it is represented. So hopefully you found some of that interesting. At the next session next week, we will talk about the next center, which is the third energy center, also called as the Nabhi chakra. But for now, we will stop the didactic part, and we will get into the meditation component. So I will hand you back over to Mariana, who will play a couple of videos for us. Those videos will talk to, first and foremost, what is Sahaj Yoga, what is Sahaj meditation, what does it look like, just a very short animation. Then she will play something which is the affirmation video, as we call it. When before we start meditating, where do we put our hands, how do we do it, just so that you see. And nothing, no need to memorize. I'll explain as we go along, but just so that you are visually oriented as to what it is that we do. So with that, over to you, Mariana.
The Kundalini energy is a primordial energy, the source of all energy. Energy flows throughout your body via 3 main vertical energy channels, or nadis, flowing through 7 primary energy centers, or chakras, which are located at the sites of your main nerve plexuses, or networks of interlaced nerves. The energy rises up through your spinal column, flowing upward through the 6 energy centers above the sacrum bone. The second energy center, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the 6th, and finally, the 7th crown energy center. As the subtle energy pierces through the top of your head, it unites your individual consciousness with the universal consciousness. To begin, sit comfortably on a chair or on the ground, with your back straight and your hands on your lap, palms up. Close your eyes and relax. Then repeat each of the following affirmations until you feel peaceful and ready to move on. Ideally, you'll spend about 30 seconds on each of the affirmations, saying them slowly, genuinely feeling the desire and meaning they represent. First, place your right palm over your heart and quietly say, either to yourself or aloud, "Am I the Spirit?" Next, place your right palm on your lower left side, just above your hip, and say, "I want to have pure knowledge." Move your right palm up until it's just below your ribcage and say, "I am my own master." Place your right palm over your heart and say, "I am the Spirit." Place your right palm on your left shoulder where it meets your neck and say, "I am not guilty." In this moment, It's important to leave behind any regrets or feelings of guilt you've been holding on to throughout your life. Place your right palm across your forehead, lower your head slightly, and say, "I forgive everyone, including myself." In this moment, you must forgive, forget, and let go of painful events that have troubled you in the past. Finally, put your right palm on the crown of your head, with the center of your palm maintaining firm contact with your head. Now, rotate your hand slowly in a clockwise direction, and as you rotate your hand, say, "Please let me have my self-realization." Sit quietly for approximately 5 to 10 minutes, without trying, without effort. Notice the silence. Notice how your thoughts have calmed. If a thought does pop into your mind, simply let it rise and fall away. Should you find it difficult to raise your inner energy alone, help is always available on this website.
So let's get started. For those of you who have seen the video for the first time, no worries. I'll explain as we go along. So what we need to do is to, as was shown in the video, just keep both our feet apart on the ground. If you have any footwear, it would be useful if you just take it off. If you have socks on, that's fine. But if you have any footwear, we would request you to remove it. Just helps the flow of energy. Now sit comfortably in your chair. Nothing strenuous. Eyes to be closed. I'll repeat the affirmations. You have seen the video. You have a sense of what to do. And we will keep our eyes closed throughout. So first, let us take a couple of deep breaths, palms in our laps facing upwards. Take a deep breath, hold it, let it go. One more time. Okay, now let us place our right hand on our heart. Right hand on our heart. The left hand stays in the lap with the palm facing up, with your palm facing upwards. We say the first affirmation with our right hand on the heart. Am I the spirit? These affirmations have been designed to help the inner energy rise within us, within our spinal cord, in a very spontaneous, effortless manner. Why it happens, maybe that's for a subsequent talk, but for now, just let's try to get the experience. Right hand on the heart, we ask a question 3 times. Am I the spirit? Now let us place our hand, always the right hand, on the left side of our abdomen. So on the left side, where wear our belt, so to speak, at that level, waist level. This is for that energy center that we just tried to get some information about, the Swadhisthana chakra, the second energy center. So the energy center is in the center, but we work through the power of our desire. So which is why right hand, lower left part of our abdomen. And we say the affirmation for this second energy center. I want to know pure knowledge, or I want to experience pure knowledge. And that's because the knowledge of this inner energy is considered very pure. It is absolute. It doesn't change or modify with the passage of time. So that's why it's absolute and pure knowledge. So we say, I want to experience the pure knowledge. Say about 6 times, very quietly. Now let us place our hand below the last rib, upper part of our stomach or abdomen on the left side. So right hand below the last rib on the left side, upper part of our abdomen. And now this is for the third energy center, this affirmation. And we say, I want to be my own master. Let's say that about 10 times if we can. There's no need to count. It's more important that we internalize our attention. Even if you say a few times, that's okay. I want to be my own master. Let us place our hand on the heart again. And this time we say 12 times, not a question, but an affirmation for the fourth energy center. Always to help the energy flow upwards. I am the pure spirit. 12 times, if you can. Very quietly in your heart, as we say. Silently, but with full faith and confidence. I am the pure spirit. Now let us place our hand at the angle of our neck and shoulder, always on the left side. Turn our head slightly to the right side. Now for the fifth energy center, for allowing the energy to pass through, we say, I am not guilty. Can say that about 16 times, but even a few times is fine, as long as we say it with confidence and sincerity. I am not guilty. Now let us place our hand across our forehead, bend our head forward just a bit, and we say an affirmation for the sixth energy center, which is I forgive everyone. It's an extremely important affirmation. I forgive everyone, including myself. We can say that 3 times. But say it once, let a few seconds elapse, then say it a second time. It's important to see if you can feel that silence within you. I forgive everyone, including myself. Now, finally, let us place our right hand on our crown. Head should be bent forward. Gently press the crown with the center of the palm of our hand. Spread your fingers out just a bit if you want, and gently start rotating the scalp, that is the skin on our head, in a clockwise fashion. And as we are doing this, we say the seventh and the final affirmation for the seventh energy center, for the energy to break through. And that is, I want to experience my self-realization. When the energy passes through the seventh center, we experience our own true selves. That's what meditation is all about. I want to experience my self-realization, or you can say, I want to get my self-realization. Let's say it 7 times as we move our hand on our head. Keep rotating the scalp. And bring our hand down. Place the right hand also in our lap, palm facing upwards. We'll keep our eyes closed. We'll try to keep our attention on the crown of our head, just where we were touching with our hand, if we can. Try not to actively engage in thoughts, but if you still have some thoughts coming through, just say, I forgive. We'll continue to meditate. In the background, we'll say, play some soft music. Slowly. What we're now going to try to do is to let's take our hand and place it on just a couple of inches above the crown of our head. And see if we can feel a cool breeze coming from the top of our head. Try with the other hand as well. Also, you might be able to feel a cool breeze maybe blowing through the tips of your fingers. That's what happens when the energy connects to a higher energy force sort of around us, and there are nerve endings in the palms of our hands, the tips of our fingers, and that enables us actually to feel this energy, which is the most unique thing about Sahaj meditation. So maybe some of you have felt it, and we'll pause here for some questions if you have, and do let us know through the chat box if you have any questions. Otherwise, we will go to the second part once again for our meditation. You know, in these sessions, for those of you who may have come for the first time, we generally have two sessions. This was the longer session of the meditation, then we have a slightly shorter one. We'll still finish on the hour, but we allow about 5-10 minutes for folks to, if you have any questions. If not, we'll directly go to the second meditation, which hopefully will be a little better because you have already meditated for a little time now. You can type your questions in the chat box. If you don't have any questions, hey, that's fantastic too. But just so that we allow for an opportunity for a live interaction. As we have said before, the website has literally a ton of information, and you can find a lot of information there if you so wish. But in case what you heard today, if you have anything, then happy to answer. Otherwise, we'll just move on to the meditation, the second meditation. Great. Doesn't look like we have any questions, Mariana.
No, I don't see any questions.
Great. This is wonderful. So either what we said for those of you who came for the first time was crystal clear, or maybe not, but that's okay. So we'll go with the positive. So hopefully you have felt a little bit of calming down of your thoughts. I'm using my hands because on video. So like a thought rises, falls down, then the next thought rises, and then that falls down. So Sahaj tries to help you get into that space between those thoughts when the energy crosses the sixth energy center. We'll deal with that when we come to it, but just very briefly. So what we have to examine ourselves, what we have to be attentive to are these things such as, am I feeling a state what we call thoughtless awareness, which means you are aware of yourselves, you're aware that it is evening time, it is a Friday evening, you're in the United States or in Canada. I know some for example, Mariana is based in Canada. So we are oriented in space and time, but at the same time our thought processes are sort of leveled off. We are not actively thinking. So that's one. And then of course, if you can feel a cool breeze coming from the crown of your head, again, that's the energy that has come through, and also maybe some cool breeze, or maybe even sometimes a warm breeze, but blowing through the tips of your fingers of the hands. So these are signs that we say we should be watching out for. That tells you that the inner energy has been activated. But that's that. So let's get started with the second meditation. This time we will use only 3 affirmations. Those of you who have been doing this for a while know what we do now. So we'll place our hand on the heart, then we'll place our hand on across the forehead, and then again on the top, and then again we'll meditate to some silently to some music. So once again, let us place both our hands in our palms. Both our hands in our laps, palms facing upwards. Gently close our eyes Take again a couple of deep breaths if you feel comfortable doing so and wish to do so. Let's place our right hand on the heart. We ask ourselves, we say this affirmation now. Not ask, but we say about 12 times. I am the pure spirit. Very confidently. I am the pure spirit. Now let us place our hand across our forehead. Gently bend it forward and we say the affirmation 3 times. I forgive everyone, including myself. Say that about 3 times. I forgive everyone, including myself. And now let us place our hand on the crown. Once again, our palm should touch the crown. Press it gently, rotate in a clockwise fashion, moving the scalp with it. And now if you can keep your attention where the palm is touching the crown, that would be very, very helpful. We take you deeper into meditation. And we say the affirmation now, I want to experience my self-realization. Say that 7 times. I want to experience my self-realization. Just bring our hand down. Place the right hand like the left hand in our lap. So both hands are in our lap, palms facing upwards. Eyes are closed. We keep our attention on our crown. Do not open our eyes. We continue to meditate with some background music. Again, try to notice if any thoughts are intruding. If they are, just say, I forgive. Do not engage with your thoughts. Examine if you are experiencing a state of thoughtless awareness. And also if you are feeling a cool breeze through the tips of your fingers. You may not feel it, that's okay. But just be alert and attentive. Let's continue to meditate for some time. And slowly open our eyes. Once again, to satisfy ourselves, can we just try to see if we can feel the cool breeze? Maybe it could be a warm breeze on the top of our head. Let's also try with the left hand if you want. It's important that we satisfy our own selves. Sahaj is about, it's all about the experience. It's not about theoretical knowledge. And that's why this particular experience signifies that the energy has actually broken through. So it's important to verify. So with that, we will begin to conclude this evening's session. We request you to every film that we have shown today, not the slides, but the animation videos are available on the website if you want to look at them again. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, please do meditate every day. That is our only request. Daily meditation helps us get deeper into this experience. It also helps us to monitor ourselves much better. And if you have any thoughts, any comments, any suggestions, please do let us know. We are always interested in helping making this sessions better. Hope you found this session useful. We look forward to your feedback. To take this poll, we take these polls very seriously. They're just not meant to be polls for their own sake, and we examine the results as well. So please do take the poll. Be safe, to follow whatever guidelines that you have locally. I have to say that we do encourage people to stay safe and be wise about it. And with that, we will meet again next Friday, same time. We will try to cover the third energy center, again from a sort of a theoretical perspective, knowledge-based perspective, but meditation-wise will be the same. So do meditate, and you will see the difference when you meditate by yourselves in your houses and when you are in a session like this, where there are more of us who are meditating at the same time, even if virtually. The connection and the experience is much stronger. Please go ahead and take the poll. Thank you and good evening.